In 2008, Elizabeth Fritzl scurried to tell the local police that she had been held captive for 24 years, trapped in the family's cellar, abused daily, and even gave birth to 7 different children. Though sounding like a made-up story at first, it was found to be 100% true. In 1956, Joseph Fritzl married a woman named Rosemary. They had 3 sons and 4 daughters, including Elizabeth, who was born April of 1966. She lived a relatively normal life as a child, went through school like everyone else until 15 years old when she finished up, and decided she wanted to join a waitress course to start finally making money and to get away from her family. During this time, she ran away to move in with a friend. Sadly, the police found her and took her back home. In 1984, Joseph convinced his daughter Elizabeth to help him carry a new door into the basement, which ended up being the last piece to his carefully crafted dungeon. They went inside and secured the door, trapping them both in there. He knocked her unconscious and threw her into the chamber. He was the only one that knew this chamber even existed. In the coming weeks, her mother began to worry and ended up filing a missing persons report. Joseph forced Elizabeth to write a note stating she was okay and was living with a friend, but to not come looking for her. Joseph told his wife and the police that he was pretty sure she ran off to join a cult. For the next 24 years of Elizabeth's life, she was brought food and other supplies a few times a week to keep her alive in her new dungeon home. Elizabeth would go on to have 7 kids from her father's abuse, one dying shortly after birth. 3 of these kids, Joseph claimed they showed up at his doorstep. Child services came over and deemed them worthy of adopting these mystery children, who also didn't have to live in the basement. As children started to pile up, he was so kind as to enlarge her prison and even gave her a fridge and hot plates to cook with. In 2008, one of these children grew sick and wouldn't wake up. Elizabeth convinced Joseph to take the child to the hospital, where the police and the media started to grow suspicious of the mother's whereabouts. While that was going on, Elizabeth convinced Joseph to then take her to the hospital. The police separated them and promised Elizabeth if she told them everything, she would never have to see her father again. She told every detail. 9 days later, the kids were confirmed to be of Elizabeth and her father's creation. Joseph was found guilty of enslavement and false imprisonment, assault charges, and the murder of the dead baby, closing the case on one of the most horrific modern-day multi-decade crimes.